Hello, everybody, and welcome to the channel. We got game one of a doubleheader between the Cardinals and the Phillies, and what a pitching matchup we have here today. Let's take a look at the St. Louis Cardinals visiting lineup. Leading off, playing second base, Red Sorrentes. Batting second, playing center field, Enos Slaughter. Batting third, playing shortstop, Rogers Hornsby. Batting fourth, playing left field, Stan Musial. Batting fifth, playing right field, Joe Medrick. Batting sixth, playing first base, Johnny Mize. Batting seventh, playing third base, Whitey Kowalski. Batting eighth, doing the catching is Jimmy Wilson. And on the mound for the Cardinals, like I say, what a pitching matchup we have here. Dizzy Dean. Take a look now at the hometown Philadelphia Phillies starting lineup. Leading off, playing center field, Billy Hamilton. Batting second, playing left field, Ed Delaney. Batting third, playing right field, Chuck Klein. Batting fourth, playing first base, Don Hurst. Batting fifth, doing the catching is Spud Davis. Batting sixth, playing third base, Pinky Whitney. Batting seventh, playing second base, Frisco Thompson. Batting eighth, playing shortstop, Honey Sand. And like I say, what a matchup on the mound for the Phillies is Grover Alexander. Batting ninth. Dizzy against Alexander. Don't get much better than that. Let's get down to the field and get it started. You see the team comparisons. The Cardinals come in this game with a 3-7 record, batting .224, on base percentage of .315, slugging of .422, and an OPS of .737. Phillies are 5-5. They're batting .256, on base percentage of .324, slugging of .451, and an OPS of .775. Red to start this game off here for the Cardinals, batting .267, no homers and 4 RBIs. Going up against Alexander, this is his third start. He's 0-1 with a 4.5 ERA. And that's going to be a 22. And that's going to be a fly ball out the left field. Ed's got it for out number one. And Enos Slaughter's up now. And that's going to be a fly ball again out the left field. And again, Ed's got it. 2 fly balls to left, 2 outs here in the top of the first. And Roger Hornsby's at the plate, batting .326, 3 homers and 10 RBIs. And that's going to be a 25. That's going to be a ground ball. Nope, that's going to be a swing and a miss, and Alexander strikes Hornsby out for a 1-2-3 top of the first. We go to the bottom of the first. Hamilton, Delaney, and Klein do up. Billy's batting .211 with 1 homer and 12 RBIs. And Dizzy Dean, this is his third start. He's also 0-1 with a 4.5 ERA. What a matchup. Here's the pitch to Billy. And that's going to be a fly ball out to right field. And Joe Medrick makes the catch out there and right. 1 down here for the Phillies. And Ed Delaney's up now. And he gets a hold of this one off of Dizzy Dean. Where's this one going to land at? And that ball is high. That ball is far. I'll tell you where it's going to land, over the fence. That's a home run, folks. It's a souvenir out there in left field for somebody. And it is quickly 1-0 Philadelphia. And now they got Chuck Klein up. And Klein's batting .432 on the year. 3 homers and 16 RBIs. Just coming off of that 6-for-7 game against these Cardinals. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Dizzy strikes him out for out number 2. And Don Hurst is up now. And Hurst, he's batting 268 on the year. And that's going to be a fly ball out to left field. Stan's got it. But Ed Delaney puts the Phillies on top with a solo homer. To the top of the second we go. 1-0 Philadelphia. Musial, Medrick, and Mize, the 3 M's are up. Stan's batting 167, no homers and 3 RBIs. And that's going to be a base on balls. Musial is going to walk down the first. Tying run down there for the Cardinals. Joe Medrick to go ahead run at the plate. And Joe's batting 158. He's got a homer and 3 RBIs on the year. And that's going to be a 25. It's going to be a pop up down the short. And Sand makes the catch for out number 1. And the big cat Johnny Mize is up. And Mize is hitting 250 with 4 homers and 9 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Thompson at second. And a 36 and a 7. 36 and a 7 will be fielding column 2. And they get the runner out at second on a 4-6 put out. So now Mize is down at first for Whitey. And Kowinski is batting 292, 3 homers and 5 RBIs. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes Whitey out. His second strikeout of the game for Alexander. Cardinals strand 1. To the bottom of the second we go. We got Davis, Whitney, and Thompson due up here. Spud's batting 273, 2 homers and 8 RBIs. And that's going to be a base hit in the right field. Spud's aboard here with a leadoff single. And Pinky's up now. And Whitney is batting 200 on the year, 1 homer and 3 RBIs. With Davis down there at first. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Slaughter in center for out number 1. You see the Phillies' upcoming schedule. They got one more game here against the Cardinals in this doubleheader. And then they stay home to play the Reds for 2 games. And then the Braves come to town. Thompson's batting 279 with a homer and 5 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball down the red. A 51 and a 9 should be column number 1. And it is. And with a runner down at first, they should get the lead runner. Yep. And Thompson beats the throw down the first. So that'll be 1 out, 2 outs now. Thompson down at first. And Sand up. And Sand's batting 133. He's got a homer and no homers and no RBIs. And that's going to be a 22. And that's going to be a base hit, infield hit for Heine. And the worst thing that does is that Alexander up here in the bottom of the second, first and second. Can Alexander add to the lead here? Help his own cause. He's 0 for 4 on the year. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Medrick. That ends the inning. The Phillies strand 2. We go to the top of the third. Still 1-0 Philadelphia. You got Wilson, Dean, and then back to Red at top of the order. And Jimmy Wilson's batting 167, no homers and 2 RBIs on the year. And that's going to be a rare play, a 32 and a 36. And that's going to be strike ball 1 on Wilson. Here's the 1-0 count. And that's going to be a drive in 26. That's going to be a drive down the third. Sands got it. He fires over to first for out number 1. And that brings up Dizzy Dean now. And Dizzy Dean batting 250 on the year. Here's the pitch to Dean. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Alexander strikes him out for out number 2. His third strikeout of the game. Back to the top of the order in red. And red flew out the left his first time up as Christopher Solovic joins us here. Check out Christopher's great channel, folks. He's doing a state college football. Awesome stuff. Check it out, folks. And red is going bat here, 0-1 today. And that's going to be a ground ball down the sand. And that'll end the inning. 1, 2, 3 goes the Cardinals. To the bottom of the third we go. And we got the top of the order due up here for the Phillies. Hamilton, Delaney, and Klein. And as you can see, Cardinals have struck out 51 times, walked 49, hit 21 doubles and 8 triples. And the Phillies have struck out 45 times, walked 46 times, hit 30 doubles and only 5 triples. Billy Hamilton's up now. He flew out the right his first time up. And that's going to be a ground ball down the Hornsby at short. And that'll be out number 1 here in the bottom of the third. And here comes the guy that gave the Phillies the lead. Ed Delaney homered his first time up in the first. Here's the pitch to Ed. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Johnny Mize. He's got it. And that'll be out number 2. 2 quick outs here. Chuck Klein's up now. Klein struck out his first time up. And that's going to be a fly ball out the left field. 32 and a 2 should be fielding column 2. And it is. And that's going to be a single in the left. Chuck Klein's aboard here with a base hit. So 2 outs, a runner down at first for Don Hurst. And Hurst flew out the left his first time up. And that's going to be a ground ball back to the mound. And Dean's going to toss it over to first for out number 3. Phillies strand 1 to the top of the 4th we go. You got Slaughter due up here, followed by Hornsby and Musial. Slaughter is 0-for-1, flew out the Delaney and left his first time up, and he's going to try it again. And Delaney does it again. He catches it for out number 1. Here comes Hornsby up, and Hornsby struck out his first time up. And that's going to be a fly ball this time out to Hamilton in center field. And that's a can of corn for Hamilton. 2 quick outs. And now we got the man up, Stan the man. And he walked his first time up. And not this time. That's another fly ball and another out. 1, 2, 3. Goes the Cardinals. To the bottom of the 4th we go. And this is living up to the pitching duel we expected from Dean and Alexander. You got Davis due up, followed by Whitney and Thompson. And Davis singled his first time up. And that's going to be a rare play of 54 on a 38. And that's going to be a ball 1 to Davis. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Spud. And he gets a hold of this one. That ball is high. That ball is far. Kiss it goodbye. Spud Davis doubles your fun, doubles your pleasure, and doubles the lead with Government Boom. It's 2-0 Philadelphia. And that brings up Pinky up now with nobody on and nobody out. See the Phillies' upcoming schedule. They got 1 more game against the Cardinals, 2 against the Reds, and then the Braves. Pinky's 0-for-1, flew out the center his first time up. And that's a base on balls. And Dizzy Dean seems a little rattled here in the 4th. Gives up the leadoff homer. Now a single. And Mr. Thompson's up now. He grounded into a force play his first time up. And that's going to be a base on balls. Dean's walked 2, gave up a leadoff homer. All of a sudden, he can't find the strike zone. They go out to talk to him. Dean says he's all right. They say, throw the damn ball over the plate. So 1st and 2nd now, nobody out for Sand. And Sand singled his first time up against Dean. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. And Hornsby is an 8, a 31 and an 8. That is going to be just barely fielding column 2. And that's going to be the old 6-3 put out. So now you're going to have runners on first and third. As Thompson gets down the second, they had no play down there. And that brings up Alexander. So we got runners at second and third. And 1 out. Alexander's up. They're going to bring the infield in down by 2. Alexander flew out the right his first time up. And that's going to be a fly ball out the right again. A 54 and a 2 might be fielding column 3. And it is. And that's going to be even. That's going to, Whitney's going to definitely score with no throw, I believe. We'll make sure here. That was a what? A 60. Yeah, he's going to score with no throw. Let's see here. Thompson, is he going to get down the the third with no throw? And I believe so. Yep. Because that's a 61? Yeah. So he'll get down there with no throw. So that's a sacrifice 5 by Alexander. We don't need no stinking DH. Now you got runner on third, 2 outs. And it's a 3-0 ball game here in the first game of a doubleheader. And you got the top of the order up now, and Billy Hamilton. And Billy's 0 for 2. He has flown out the right, grounded out the short. Can he make this a 4-0 lead, folks? And nope, that's going to be a ground ball down the red. He fires over to first. That'll end it. But the Phillies add 2. A home run by Davis, a sacrifice fly by Alexander, and it's a 3-0 ball game. So we go to the top of the 5th. You got Medrick, Mize, and Whitey due up here. And Joe is 0 for 1. He popped up the short his first time up. And you see the Cardinals have scored 45 runs, won 15 homers, and have 1 caught stolen base. The Phillies have scored 56 runs on 15 homers, 16 stolen bases, and been caught 4 times. Here's the pitch to Joe. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Thompson. That'll be out number 1. 1 up and 1 down here in the 5th. And Johnny Mize is up now. Mize, he grounded into a fielder's choice his first time up. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Alexander strikes him out for out number 2. And Whitey's up now. He's 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. And that's going to be a ground ball down the second. And a 41 on a 7. A 41 and a 7. Second baseman, a 41. That'll be fielding column 2. What did I say? It was a 20. And that's going to be an error on Thompson. An E4 keeps this inning alive. And that brings up Wilson now with a runner down at first. And 2 outs. Wilson's 0 for 1, grounded out to short his first time up. And that's going to be a 38 and a 21 on the pitcher. And that should be fielding column 1. And it is. And that's going to be a pickoff. They pick Whitey off at first. How about that, folks? And that ends the inning. Nice job by Alexander. Picks Whitey off. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It's still 3-0. Philadelphia. You got Delaney, Klein, and Hurst due up. Delaney with that solo homer back in the first, grounded out the first in the third. And that's going to be a ground ball Nope, that's going to be a swing and a miss. Dean strikes him out this time. And you see St. Louis upcoming schedule. They go play one more game here in Philadelphia, and then they go home, play the Braves for 2, and then the Reds come to town. Chuck Klein's up. He's struck out in the first, singled in the third. And that's going to be more than a single probably. He drives this ball. Where is it going to land at? And that ball is going to split the gap out in right field. And Klein's got himself a 1-out double. Klein down at second, trying to add to this lead. Hurst at the plate, 1 down. And Hurst is 0 for 2. Flew out the left, grounded out the Dean. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes Hurst out. That's Dizzy's 3rd strikeout of the game. And that brings up Spud Davis, who homered his last time up and singled his first time up. He's 2 for 2 today. And it's going to be a base on balls. So Spud walks on down to first. Here comes Pinky up. Runners on first and second. And 2 down. Pickney flew out the center in the second, walked in the fourth, and came around to score. And that's going to be another base on balls. Dean can't find the strike zone. And we got bases loaded here for Thompson. If he gets a base hit here, it's going to bust this game open, folks. Spud doesn't have great speed down there at second, but with 2 outs, Pinky has good speed down at first. Thompson's 0 for 1. He grounded into a fielder's choice in the second and walked in the fourth. And that's going to be a 21 and an 8. And that's going to get him out of the inning. That's a fly ball out to Medrick. He makes the catch. And the Phillies leave the bases loaded. It's still 3-0. We go to the top of the 6th. We got Wilson, Dean, and Red due up here. And Wilson is 0 for 1, grounded out to short his first time up. And that's going to be a rare play, a 25 on a 36. That's a 13. That's going to be a ground ball down the second. Thompson's down there. A 53 and a 7. And that's going to be a single through second. Thompson can't come up with it, and that's the first base hit of this ball game, folks, for the Cardinals. Wilson sneaks one past Thompson in the right field. That brings up Dean up now. He's going to try to sacrifice Wilson over to second. And that's going to be a good bunt. It's going to be down the first base line. Hurst comes up with it. He takes it, fires it over to Thompson for out number 1. It does get the runner in scoring position though for Red with 1 out here. And Red's 0 for 2, flown out the left and grounded out the short. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Eden Delaney and left for out number 2. And Enos Slaughter's up now. Slaughter's 0 for 2. He's flown out the left twice. And that's going to be a fly ground ball. Nope, that's going to be a swing and a miss, ain't it? Let's see here. Nope, that's going to be a ground ball down the third. And Pinky fires over to first to end the inning. So the single goes nowhere. And it's still 3-0 as we go to the third. A CNI single breaks up the no-hitter here in the 6th. And you got the bottom part of the order due up. Sand, Alexander, and then back to Hamilton. Sand singled and grounded out to short. And that's going to be another ground ball down the short. Same result. Hornsby fires over to Mize for out number 1. And Alexander's up. He's flown out the right and had to sacrifice flies last time up. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Dean strikes him out for out number 2. And that brings up Hamilton now back to the top of the order. Hamilton's 0 for 3. He's flown out and grounded out twice. And that's going to be another ground ball. This one down in the second. And 1, 2, 3 goes the Phillies. To the top of the seventh we go. 3-0 Philadelphia over these Cardinals. Got Hornsby, Musial, and Medrick due up. And Rogers is 0 for 2, struck out and flown out the center. And that's going to be a 25. That's going to be a ground fly ball out the center again. Hamilton's got it again for out number 1. Here comes the man. Stan the man's up now. He's 0 for 1. He walked in the second, flew out the center in the fourth. And that's going to be a fly ball out the left. That's going to be a nice catch out there by Delaney. Robbed Stan of a base hit. Now there's 2 down and nobody on for Medrick. And Joe is 0 for 2. He's popped up the short, grounded out the second. And that's going to be another fly ball out the left. That'll end the inning. We go to the 7th inning stretch. It's 3-0 Phillies. We got Delaney due up here. Then Klein and Hurst here in the bottom of the 7th. And Delaney with that solo homer. He's grounded out and struck out after that. And that's going to be a base on balls. That is Dean's 5th walk of the game. And that brings up Chuck Klein now with a runner down at first. Klein's having a wonderful series against these Cardinals. He's 2 for 3 today. He has singled and doubled, struck out his first time up. And that's going to be a fly ball out the slaughter for out number 1. And Don Hurst now up at the plate. And Hurst, he is 0 for 3. He's flown out, grounded out, and struck out. And that's going to be a base on balls. And now walks of killing Dean. Now you got first and second. Dean's due up, 5th? So if anybody scores, that'll be it for Dean. They're going to try to get him through this 7th inning. Dean got runners on first and second. He hasn't gotten Spud Davis out yet. He has singled, homered, and walked. And this might be the first time. Nope, that's going to be another base on balls. And I hate to say it, but that's got to be it for Dean. Dean just walked the bases loaded. So let's see who's going to come out here and pitch. The problem is in this doubleheader, you know what? We're going to have to let him pitch. That bullpen was shot in that extra inning game. He's got to make it through this inning, at least give it a try here. Pinky's 0 for 2 with 1 out here. Pinky, they're going to play back for the double play here. Pinky's 0 for 1. He has flown out and walked twice. And that's going to be a ground ball back to the mound. 16 on a 2. That'll be fielding column. And that's going to be a double play. That's going to be the old 1, 2, 3 double play, folks. Throws the ball to Wilson. Wilson over to Mize. And that gets him out of the inning. That saves that bullpen. We go to the top of the 8th. It's still 3-0. Again, the Phillies leave 2 men on. We now have Mize, Whitey, and Wilson due up. If anybody gets on, Dean will be up. Johnny's 0 for 2. He's grounded into a fielder's choice and struck out. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Alexander's 5th strikeout of the game. And Johnny Mize is now up. Mize is 0 for 2. He's reached on an error and struck out. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Alexander's dealing here in the 8th. Back-to-back strikeouts. Can he strike the side out? Jimmy Wilson is up now. And Wilson is 1 for 2. He's grounded out and singled. The only hit was a CNI single. And that's going to be another swing and a miss. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Alexander strikes the side out in the eighth. We go to the bottom of the eighth. It is 3-0. Let's see here. Do we do a double switch is what we're thinking about doing. They're going to let Dean start this eighth inning here. Anybody gets on base will probably do a double switch. He's got the bottom part of the order due up. Thompson, San, and Alexander. Thompson's 0 for 2. Grounded into a fielder's choice in the second. Walked in the fourth and flew out the right in the fifth. And that's going to be a 21. That'll be a swing and a miss. He strikes Thompson out. That's only his 5th strikeout of the game. Sands up now. And Sands 1 for 3. Singled and grounded out the short his other 2 times up. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. And all of a sudden, Dizzy here in the 8th strikes out the first 2 batters. Can he strike out the side? Alexander's up. He's 0 for 2. He has flown out the right, struck out, and had a sacrifice fly in the 4th. And he's got more than that because Alexander says, we don't need no stinking DH. He drives that ball into the gap in right field. That's a 2-out double by Grover Pete Alexander. He's standing down at second now with 2 outs. Trying to add to this 3-0 lead as we go to the 9th inning. Billy Hamilton's 0 for 4. He is grounded out 3 times, twice to second, once to short, and flew out the right back in the first. And that's going to be a ground ball down the first. Johnny's got it, tosses it over to Dean. That ends the inning. We go to the top of the 9th. We'll have a pitch hitter here for Dean, and then back to the top of the order. See who's going to come off the bench here. And Burkett's going to come off the bench. Jesse Burkett try to get something going as they trail by 3. And Burkett is batting .429 on the year. No homers and no RBIs. And he gets a hold of this one, folks. Jesse Burkett comes off the bench. And he delivers a double in the right field. The Cardinals aren't giving up easily here. Burkett down at second now with nobody out. Can Alexander get through this 9th inning? Back to the top of the order we go. Runner down at second and nobody out. Red's 0 for 3. He has flown out the left twice and grounded out the short. And that's going to be it's the 22. That's going to be a single in the right field. Let's see here. Single in the right. And that's going to be a 42. .26. A 52 or lower. He's going to be safe at home and score a run here. And he's safe. That's an RBI single by Red. And just like that, it's a 2-run game. The tying run comes to the place, and Enos Slaughter. That's going to get the bullpen up. Alexander's trying to close this game out. It's 3-1. Nobody out. A runner down at first. Slaughter's 0 for 3. He's flown out the left and grounded out the third as we drop some dice. And that's going to be a ground ball back to the mound. And that's going to be the old 1-6 put out. They get the runner down at second. So now you got Slaughter at first. Roger Hornsby's up with 1 out. And Hornsby is 0 for 3. He struck out and flown out the center twice. And that's the old doctor order double play. Ball down the second. Thompson's up with it. Fires over the sand. Over to Hurst. 4-6-3 double play. Ends the ball game. Alexander wins this game 3-1 for the Phillies here. Let's take a look at the box score. What a pitching duel we had. Alexander did his job. The Phillies 3 runs on 7 hits and 1 error. The Cardinals 1 run, 3 hits and no errors. The 3 hits, Red, Wilson, and Jesse Burkett. Cardinals were 1 for 3 with runners in scoring position. They left 2 men on base. I only had, I think, four base runners. 1 got picked off, if I remember right. See how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yep, 4 base runners, and 1 got picked off. And you had Chuck Klein. He's the man, going 2 for 4. Also, Spud Davis with a homer. Ed Delaney with a homer. Cardinals, the Phillies were 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. They had their opportunity to bust this game open and didn't. They left 10 men on base. Dean goes the distance, goes to 0-2. 8 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, walked 7, struck out 6, gave up the 2 homers. Alexander goes to 1-1, pitches 9 innings, a 3-hit ball, 1 run, 1 walk, and struck out 7. Let's take a look here at the standings here and the leaderboard in the National League. You got Pittsburgh and the Giants tied for the lead. The Phillies, Reds, Cubs, and Braves all tied for third. The Dodgers 2.5 games out, and the Cardinals now on a 5-game losing streak, 3.5 games back. Chuck Klein's leading the National League with a .438 batting average. Mays with 7 homers, and Hank Aaron with his 17 RBIs. Amos with his 1.69 ERA. Noodles and Kid with 3 wins, and 3 pitchers tied with 3 saves. Hank Aaron's leading the National League in the MVP voting, and Noodles is leading in the Best Pitcher Award. I want to thank Christopher for stopping in today. Again, check out his great channel, folks. And the next game on the channel is going to be the second game of this doubleheader between the Phillies and the Cardinals. Let's see who's going to be pitching here. Doak against Sparks in game number 2 of this 3-game series in this doubleheader. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for reminders, and on your way out, hit that like button and leave a comment. Till next time, y'all have a great day and take care.